So you want to head out into the great outdoors. As for weatherproof clothing and outdoor clothing, boots are very essential, or basically what you put on your feet, and it depends what type of walking you're going to do. I'll just show you some of my footwear, shall I say, because they're not all boots. Low level walking, if I'm on paths, roads, pavements, something, if I'm doing a low level walk around a village or something like that, I'd use something like that. It's sort of a trainer. They call them approach shoes. You can see a bit of a flex in them. This is actually Gore-Tex. It's a Morel. I can't remember the actual model number, but that's what I would use for just basic low-level walking. Something also for low-level walking or intermediate, bit higher up level, say up on a moor, perhaps grassland and things like that, high-level paths. You'd use something like that, which is like a fabric boot, Gore-Tex. You don't have to use Gore-Tex if you don't want to. Just get an ordinary fabric boot, and you can see the sole on this boot. It doesn't bend at all, so that will handle quite rough terrain. So like I say, going a bit higher up, a bit rougher terrain. Not so much like boulders and stuff like that, where you very rocky. I wouldn't recommend a fibre boot for that. But yeah, a bit higher up, a bit rougher terrain, get yourself something like that. Now then, higher up, where it's going to get a bit rocky, two of my old favourites. This has been up Snowdon or Urwyddfa, I don't know, thousands of times. Just giving it a bit of a clean actually. And this is leather, solid leather, but you can see the sole on this does bend ever so slightly. I'm putting really pressure on it, so that'll handle quite well in very rough terrain, rocks, pebbles, gravel and what have you. And as you can see, it comes up quite high on the back of the ankle, so I would use that, like I said, for a bit higher up, rough-ish terrain. And the ultimate, Snowdon, Ben Nevis. If you go really high altitude, really rough boulders, rough terrain. This is a Scarpa. That's a Scarpa. I think that's called the Scarpa Trek Attack. I don't think you can get this type. You can still get Scarpas, but this was called a Trek Attack. Like I say, I had these years and years, and look at them, still using them. And this is an SL Attack, and that's what I would use if I was really going for Ben Nevis and mountains like that. Really rough, high altitude terrain. And you can see this sole, I can't bend that at all. I'm putting a hell of a lot of pressure, and that you can see it just giving slightly, so that's going to handle well really rough terrain. As you can see, between these two, if I was going for a walk around a village, country village like Betws-y-Coed or something like that, I wouldn't put them on. I'd put something like that on, or you could put something like that on. But for the really high altitude, rough, rugged terrain, that's the type of thing you want. Leather as well, and with a really stiff, solid sole. Now, as for buying your boots, I wouldn't recommend getting them by mail order. Go to an outdoor shop. If you don't know much about selecting boots, and outdoor shops, all these outdoor shops, and normally they'll have trained staff that actually are walkers and hikers and climbers themselves. Ask them and you'll get expert advice and fitting. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but the battery ran out on the camera, so I'll start again. Yeah, when you actually want to go and purchase your boot, go to an outdoor store. As I said before the battery ran out, you're going to get expert advice. If you don't know much about buying outdoor kit, especially boots or walking footwear, you'll get good advice and a good fitting service and that. But the general rule is, I think I got to that point before the battery ran out, is put your normal socks, your walking sock, your hiking socks that you would normally wear, put them on and then go to the store. And the general rule is, get a boot, say you take a size 9, 10 or what have you, try them on, put your foot in it, before lacing them up, push your foot forward in the boot and see if you can get your finger between the back of your foot, the back of your heel and the boot. If you can't, if it's tight, then get the next size up and try again. Put your foot in it, push your foot forward, and if there's a gap enough to get your finger down between the back of your foot and the boot, then that's the correct size that you need to buy. So that's it. That's a bit of advice on outdoor footwear, and I'm sorry about the battery running out, but hope that helps.